God. Porsche, VW, Audi have really nailed that suspension tuning. Yes, at the 9/10ths or an Audi, you're not going to be like a BMW or maybe a Mercedes. But what you're going to get is what matters the most. The daily driver is going to be comfortable, have the power when they need it, and have some good handling chops so they don't feel like they're in a bar. And I hope you enjoy. Today we're taking a look at the 2021 Porsche Macan S. Now, what you're thinking is, can you have it all? Can it be sporty, will it practical, and can it be an SUV? Well, if you can afford it, then maybe. And that's what Porsche is trying to do here. So we're going to do a drive on this car, do a walk around, take it on a night drive, and we'll assess, has Porsche made a tall 911? Painted in this nice black, you can immediately see the sporty intentions of this Porsche. So the S includes the 3-liter turbocharged V6 found under the hood, upgraded brakes, and an option of bigger wheels, adaptive suspension, air suspension. So the Porsche Macan is actually shared with other VW Audi products like the Q5, the A5, all that, the MLB platform, but pretty much Porsche has done their magic on the top half. So it's got a more sporty appearance. They've done a ton of tuning for chassis dynamics and stiffening and calibration. This is a premium engineered brand. Everything they do is with purpose. Starting off these wheels, you got 295/40s in the rear and 265/45s on the front. So you got bigger tires on the rear, gets you more grip, more power distribution to the rear. On 20-inch wheels, these 5 spokes look excellent. Get nice LED headlights, the Porsche in there, nice DRLs, nice hood opening with some functional braking on the left for cooling. You see that front-facing camera on the front. See that cooling goes to the brakes. Now, this is on the smaller side of its class. You got the BMW X3 and a sibling in the Audi Q5. The Porsche definitely compromises a little bit in the rear seats, but in terms of a hatch, very, very functional. And get an inflatable spare tire with a full tool set. Yeah, so nice loading floor, a little bit of a lip, but very practical. You can remove this cargo privacy screen, no problem. I don't think there's a space to store it, but you could throw it in the garage, no problem there. Now, compared to a Q5, this sporty opening will definitely reduce the cargo practicality because it is more of a sloped roof, but it still has plenty of space compared to a sedan. Quad exhausts in the rear sound very nice. We'll check out the engine once we get back in the car. It's very cold out. I like this light bar in the rear. Porsche spelled out, Macan S, looks cool. Very striking looking car. The stance, the rear, the hips is very nice. Nice big tires in the rear, really give it the presence. We are joined by Milo, so there's no space behind me, but on this side, getting into the car, a little bit tight, but sitting behind pretty farther back than my driving position at 5'10". I am hitting on the roof, trying to get to that headrest. So it is a little bit of compromise, but I think you could ask the person in front to move up a little bit maybe. But, you know, kind of finding a more comfortable position. I got plenty of space back here. Material quality is excellent. Nice soft touch plastic. Good amount of door storage. You got the Bose upgraded audio, back pockets, temperature controls, vents, 2 USB-Cs, and you do get a set of cup holders, armrest, and I believe that's a ski passer. And panoramic sunroof, looking very good. So this is before Porsche refreshed the interior in 2022, I believe, which gave you some haptic buttons in the center. And I think they're having a refresh as well in 2024. But look at this, just elegant design. Feels very Audi in terms of the quality and the usability, but just adds a little bit extra Porsche flair. Like you got a clock and stuff. You got the center tachometer in the center gauge cluster. These seats are very nice, very comfortable. We'll check those out. Good boy, buddy. Yeah, a good place to be. Plenty of space for a small family. You get ISOFIX points for car seats on both sides. Dad needs to give up the sports car, but wants to be fast and still handle decently, not compromise on an SUV. The Porsche will do it for you. All right, let's check out this engine. It's Audi VW corporate 3-liter V6, turbocharged. Transversely mounted, there's the air intake. Very usable to work on, except the oil filter is underneath, but you can just kind of raise this up and drain it out. But honestly, what Porsche owners are going to be working on their engine. I like the cutouts for their LED lights that you can see. Probably makes it easier to get to them, I'm going to be honest. Silky smooth. This is 3-liter turbocharged V6. Made it to a 7-speed dual clutch PDK. It's Porsche's unique dual clutch transmission. We also get 348 horsepower, 354 pound-feet of torque, and all-wheel drive. Gets you about 18 MPG in the city, 24 on the highway. Talk more about the PDK, the transmission, and the drive overall. Now, this interior. I like it. It's, you know, it's going to be high quality. It's premium, but it is truly elegant, very nice, and functional. There's no gimmicks in here. In the center, tachometer, speedometer, plenty of performance information such as your oil temp, pressure, battery voltage, and engine oil temperature, and engine temperature as well, excuse me. And then you can scroll through on this right side through Apple CarPlay, infotainment, a map, and your trip consumption, PSIs, and the torque split. Now, this is a mostly rear bias system. You can have a little bit of fun. I'll try to do that today without flying off the road, but you can definitely feel that extra drive from the rear. I do like this because it's like, you know, kind of giving you the sensation that it's still a key, but it stays in the car. Light controls, standard switchgear that you'd expect in a car. Infotainment controls on the left side. I like this 3-spoke with the cutouts. Down here actually is a heated seat button, so when I click heated seat on, steering wheel on and off. All right, looking at this nice material, soft, high quality. These seats are pretty well bolstered. There's no option to adjust the sides as far as I can tell, but they are cooled and ventilated. You control them down here, keep them on at the same time. We do have a decent amount of adjustment, including lumbar as well as a sliding thigh support, and as well as a power adjusting steering wheel with some 3 levels of seat memory, 2, and easy entry and exit as you saw when I turned off the car. Infotainment, pretty responsive. Apple CarPlay, wireless, connects seamlessly on startup, no problem there. And then very classic Porsche style, elegantly integrated buttons along the center stack. You do lose on some practicality in terms of storage, but you got all your climate controls for the independent zones on the passenger side and driver's side. Heated ventilated controls, as I mentioned before. Sport, traction control off, you do have to hold. Off-road mode, lane alert, turn off the auto start stop. I like that when you turn off the car, it stays off. So you got lighter. You get these Kindle style LCDs, physical, shifter, lots of different views in the reverse camera, 360 camera, side views, panorama front, all the good stuff. 2 cup holders in the center armrest storage with an SD card slot, as well as USB-Cs, for the driver and passenger side. Not a great amount of storage. Transverse mounted engines. Transmission sits right here. Engine, pushes it back into the cargo space. All right, enough talking. Let's get this on the road. Let's talk about the driving dynamics. Starting off, that V6 makes a nice growl. 354 horsepower is very healthy. Combined with this 7-speed dual clutch PDK, makes for a very good Jekyll and Hyde driving nature. I wouldn't say it's necessarily as raw, but very refined performance. It snaps off shifts very quickly when you're going spiritedly, and when you're driving at low speeds. Very smooth transmission, not jerky, which you'd find in dual clutches because you're slipping those two different clutch plates versus a conventional torque converter automatic you'd find in something like the Audi or BMW or most cars. Steering has a nice weight to it. You get some feedback from the road, but I do like how the steering feels at all different speeds. It's not too heavy where it's annoying and unbearable. Porsche's definitely tuned this to be exactly what it's meant to be. That turbo is ready to go. It spools up very quickly, providing torque that feels pretty naturally aspirated. And as you can see in the torque split, we mostly send a lot of power to the rear. So while we do have a little bit more weight in front, as you heard there, car on power rotates very nicely despite having the extra weight on the front with that transverse engine mount. You can control the dynamics of this car very nicely with your right foot, and the steering is very confident. So going through these roads, ride quality, a little bit bumpy. I don't believe this has the adaptive suspension, so those 20-inch wheels are definitely jostling you around a little bit. But it still feels luxury with the hint of performance there. It doesn't beat you up, it doesn't jar your teeth. It's definitely suspension tuning I would like more than some other people. I think that adaptive suspension, that air suspension, would provide the extra variability that you need from a comfortable suspension tuning, as well as performance. This V6 sounds good. It surprised me because I feel like it's a very similar engine to what's in my car, but has much better growl on the intake. So in sport mode, baffles open up. PDK snaps off some shifts, very nice. Hear a little backfire, a little pop. Look at that fellow Porsche Macan, maybe a GTS? Maybe just a normal. See if I could sneak into launch on this on-ramp. Definitely not. RDX and car behind me are killing the fun. Can take manual control of the paddles and shift the PDK. It will auto upshift for you though, even if your traction control is off. Turn on traction control, turn off sport, settle into some highway cruising. We'll find another spot to do some performance driving. On the highway, get a little bit of road noise from the larger tires and wheels combination, but despite being in a taller car, very minimal road intrusion, road noise otherwise. This cabin is very quiet and comfortable for highway cruising. We don't get any other driver assistance. You do get the cruise control stalk on the left side. With stability and traction control off, you can get a little bit of a squirrel from the rear. I think if I flicked it a little bit better, it would have been more of a slide, but very nice. Yeah, you can play around with the car. You can definitely play around with the torque dynamics of this chassis. I think it's very impressive given the engine layout, how much fun can be had. I'm gonna do a quick launch, press hard on the brake, traction off, and floor it. Oh my God. One more time. That was fun. That was fun. That launches so hard. Holds the revs at 4,000, as you've seen on the Golf GTI. And then just launches hard. That was fun. I was very hyped, and I'm still very much enjoying driving it. I think it just builds upon everything that I like so much about Audi, VW, Porsche products. They're comfortable. They're daily driving livable because of their functionality, buttons everywhere, good standard feature of options, no gimmicks, no excessive use of screens and stuff. And they ride so well. Porsche, VW, Audi have really nailed that suspension tuning. Yes, at the 9/10ths or an Audi, you're not going to be like a BMW or maybe a Mercedes. But what you're going to get is what matters the most. The daily driver is going to be comfortable, have the power when they need it, and have some good handling chops so they don't feel like they're in a barge. So for me personally, I told Nicole if I had to, ditch a sedan for like an SUV and I still want to have power and performance and luxury, I would go for Macan. You can find them used for around 50 to 60 grand. The Porsche Macan is a high volume car relatively to Porsche. It's not a sports car, it's a family SUV. Most people want to purchase one if they were going to go get a Porsche, just because the SUV craze nowadays is booming. And this engine is used all across VW, Audi, and Porsche, so very proven, very reliable. The PDK has been around forever, so Porsche has refined that and knows what problems may be an issue. It's just keeping up the maintenance like any other German brand. So with that being said, hope everyone enjoyed. Sorry for the non-traditional route. I want to throw in some more performance driving for you guys. Give it a like, subscribe, And yeah, appreciate the support, and let me know your thoughts on this Porsche Macan versus some of the other German competitors from BMW and I guess Audi and Mercedes-Benz too with the GLC. And I'll see you on the next one.